There are some lies in our science books. Taught it for 15 years. Even though I'm not teaching it anymore, I still like the study. It's so many neat things to learn. We're going to cover some of that tonight.
Perception is being managed. We are being steered and guided by a hidden hand.
The whole world has been duped by the media that is not real.
Smart thinking, possible time traveler, smart thinking.
That night, boom, contact memory.
And then, Alex, if you don't agree, you'll be sent to a re-education camp.
Just because I'm old doesn't mean I've lost my touch with the ladies.
A lot of people here tonight feel like they lost. You know why?
Now, experts are suggesting that we're in a golden age of shape-shifting reptilian sightings. Now, why is that?
I was, and still am, a huge conspiracy guy. I literally ran out of new tin hat topics to research.
It was most definitely not capable of melting steel.
Then I would be a crackpot if I thought that was the case.
Welcome to the Hypothetical Institute, a podcast about conspiracies.
My name is Luke.
I'm Salty.
I'm Cam. How are we, gentlemen?
We're good.
I'm doing fine.
Well, I'm good. I can't speak for Robbo.
No, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm fine too. Did just have a shot of hot sauce.
Yeah.
Oh, tingling a bit too much there for you, Cam. Bit too hot.
No, it's fine.
Okay, good.
I'm just saying I'm going to be spitting straight fire.
Ah.
Hey.
It wasn't a shot. It was more like a teaspoon.
A teaspoon.
Yeah, I can't back up that at all. With
just want to say to all the listeners, Robbo makes some mean hot sauce.
Thank you.
So today we're going to be talking about low frequencies, or frequencies in general. Don't do that. And we're also going to be talking about sleep. A few sleep conspiracies.
Oh, sleep in general? I just thought we don't
we're going to be talking about sleep paralysis.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, a few other sleepy
come along
things.
with sleep.
Because I don't really know why we sleep.
No.
If I had known it was sleep in general, I would have found something to do with that. Anyway, let's go with frequencies.
All right, cut all that.
Nah, it's good gear.
Cut it. All right, let's talk about frequencies. Frequencies came up in our gang stalking episode, and so I was looking at a few frequency things, extremely low ones especially.
Yep.
We mentioned briefly in the gang stalking one, Aaron Alexis, the guy that shot up the Washington Navy Yard. He believed that he was being targeted as a targeted individual with extremely low frequencies, and he even carved into his gun, "This is my elf weapon."
Right.
Or ELF.
Right. So not elf as an elven.
Well, this is the thing. People just assume he could have just been a hardcore LARPer, taking it to way too an extreme.
This is my elf weapon. It's +5 aiming.
Yeah. It shoots lightning bolt. Lightning bolt.
A lot of people died, Robbo.
He joked first.
Yeah. So, what are low frequencies?
I don't know. What are they?
Well, it's frequencies below the hearing threshold of us, right?
Yeah.
So humans can hear from like 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. That's the general range of hearing. Generally, as you get older, it gets narrower.
It's a pretty good range.
It's a good range.
What is it? 20 to 20,000?
20 to 20,000.
Like dogs
20
can
hertz
hear
to
way
20
more,
kilohertz.
Okay.
Dogs can hear further.
Just before we go on, I didn't know
on
we were doing sleep frequencies we couldn't hear. I just did all stuff we could hear gear.
Well, there is
You've only done 20 to 20,000.
Yeah.
So you're missing out on the all important 6 hertz, 8 hertz, 4 hertz.
I've focused on 528. The love
528.
frequency. Love frequency. Anyway, we'll get to that soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got
a range of frequencies.
We've got 19,980 frequencies that you can talk about.
Yeah.
And
infinite for you guys.
what's the high end of frequency? What does it go up to?
I don't know. Like infrasound, right? Like infrared. Gets to a point where it must...
I watched some videos of people using frequencies to levitate, and that was super high. Crazy high, and they would... so you
now,
get
when you say using frequencies to levitate, you mean actually scientifically or just...
Yeah.
making
So
fake videos.
To levitate like little balls.
Right.
So they basically put they get a tiny little speaker that's blasting out this frequency that's crazy high.
Yeah.
And then they get a pane of glass and they lower it to a certain point where it creates like the perfect
oscillation.
Yeah, I can't remember what the words they use, but oscillation's probably in the mix. Mm-hmm. And then you can put like a little ball in there, it will float.
Right.
They levitate. So this guy was doing these neat little tricks with it.
Yeah.
And then he had some sort of, he was like a Harvard guy, so he's a nerd.
Yeah.
He had some sort of like thing that showed the sound frequencies, and you could see as he moved the plate how they would adjust, and you'd find that sweet spot.
Yeah, right.
It was pretty cool.
Because I always found it was interesting that when you 20 to 20 is like hearing. I always found it interesting that when you buy headphones, sometimes they advertise them as having a frequency range from as low as like 18 or 15 hertz through to like 25 kilohertz, which I always thought, what's the point? Because you can't hear it. But I think there is something to the fact that the frequencies being there makes a difference, where you can't necessarily feel it, but your body reacts to those frequencies and the oscillations, which I think is where a lot of the conspiracy comes in, right? Like using super low frequencies that we can't hear to have an impact on your body physically.
So it's sort of split into two different ways that it's supposed to be used. One is to have an impact on you physically, where you can hurt someone with an extremely low frequency.
Or make them shit themselves.
I came across one guy. He was like this old white guy with a long white beard. And he had this very long video about...
Was he an elf?
He had this very long video about extremely low frequencies, which basically came down to that the government was using it to make him shit himself. But he was a truck driver.
Right.
And you can't be a truck driver if you're constantly shitting yourself because the government's blasting you with frequencies.
No.
And the idea was that they were going to replace all the truck drivers with these military truck drivers who would take all the truck driving jobs.
Because all the truck drivers are shitting themselves.
Well, and they can't drive trucks.
He's like, I spoke to my boss. I said, these guys, who are these guys? He's like, we have to hire them. They don't even know what they're doing, but we have to hire these guys.
Yeah, right.
If I was hiring people for work that was maybe somewhat sensitive, the first...
Well, it's just truck driving.
Yeah, but maybe like they're moving some, I don't know, some gear that they don't want on the books or whatever. I'm not telling bloody Johnny Shitpants. Keeping that on the low, This guy's like...
So you agree that this is a worthwhile project?
No. I agree
cut out all of the normal truck drivers and replace them with military
I agree
truck drivers.
that anyone that has the thoughts... If I'm in charge of anyone who thinks that the government's making them shit themselves, I'm not bringing them on top-level hiring and firing decisions.
All right, fair enough.
And probably not calling him Johnny Shitpants to his face.
Well, it's America. They don't really have the same worker laws, so you'd probably be okay.
Yeah. Oi, Shitpants!
The other thing that it can be used for, of course, is mind control.
Yeah.
I came across a couple of guys that were talking about how the government was using it to try and make them do a crime so that they would then get put into jail. Of course, then the prison industrial complex kicks in. Which...
Well, I mean, the prison industrial complex as a conspiracy is,
real.
Yeah, 100%. But I think they just get them for loitering or whatever. You don't need to mind control them to do things.
Yeah, there's hundreds of thousands of people in jail on minor drug charges. You don't need to mind control someone into getting caught with a tiny amount of weed.
You just plant it on them. Yeah.
So 6 is a good number, 6 hertz.
6 hertz.
Apparently that's when they've done experiments on psychics. That was the hertz that was getting used.
Right.
When they were being... I don't know how they measured this.
That's interesting because the one that I mostly looked at, 528, resolves to
528 or 5.28?
528.
Yeah.
According to this site that I read, it resolves to a 6, which is the icon for physical manifestation. So that is in Pythagorean math. Is that you say? Yep. 5 plus 2 plus 8 equals 15. and 1 plus 5 equals 6.
Yeah.
The symbol 6 reflects the spiraling down from heaven into the wholeness of earth. In fact, the love frequency can be fundamental to broadcasting all matter and energy into reality according to the laws of physics.
Ooh.
So 528 becomes 6. So maybe that's...
So that's the love frequency.
Yeah.
And what is that used for?
Wow. Interesting you ask, Cam. It's apparently good at repairing your DNA.
Mm-hmm.
It's math scientist Victor Schauel. I didn't look him up. He said it's fundamental to the ancient pi, phi, and the golden mean evident throughout natural design. It's essential to sacred geometry, DNA structuring, and hydrosonic restructuring. But the reason I didn't keep looking at any other frequencies is 528 was used by John Hutchison, mad scientist from Canada, who used 528 frequency to fix the BP oil spill.
Oh, right.
So if you look up this guy and you go BP oil spill John Hutchison, you get all these results of like he went down there and just blasted 528 everywhere.
Is the BP oil spill even fixed?
No. Horrible ongoing disaster. But like you Google his name plus the oil spill and you get a lot of cooked, oh, he saved the world, he did this. And then I found on like one blog someone like talking about how all these dolphins died. And then there's a comment that's like, yeah, it wasn't helped by this this guy turning up with all this three tons of equipment. Apparently he made it way worse.
Sorry, what did he do?
Well, so I found a video of him doing it. And it starts off on him and his wife Nancy, and they're sitting there just looking like a couple of stoners. Like
if I looked at you.
Yeah. No, you find, say, a middle-aged couple in a van near a beach.
Yeah.
Picture them.
Yeah.
These two.
Right.
And they just talk about what they're doing, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna help this out." And he's wearing it's a pirate hat, but it's got a sheriff's badge on it.
Yeah.
And he's got another hat underneath. I don't know about the double hat situation. And then they're talking about what he's going to...
Steve Bannerdy's talking to.
Yeah. Talking about what he's going to do to help and what this frequency can do. And then it cuts to him, which shows him firing up all his equipment. He's just got all this cooked gear, like old tube amps and like noisemakers. You'd love it, by the way, Salt. It just sounds like shit you'd be into.
Like heaven.
And then he just starts blasting all these sounds out over the ocean. He's got these old speakers and like half taken apart speakers, and he just starts like making noise like and then he just pops in some high pitched actually plays a pretty decent groove for a while. Allegedly that sound gets into the water, breaks up all the oil, and fixes it. He's also famous. I sort of went down a John Hutchison rabbit hole. He's pretty notorious. He allegedly, he's a...
Because you've got to throw on the allegedly word.
So according to Rational Wiki, he's a Canadian self-proclaimed inventor who claims to have discovered and promptly forgotten the secrets of levitation, free energy, and how to make certain metals vanish. He claims to work for the US military. So what his famous experiment was showing levitating objects using sound.
Right.
People pointed out you could see the strings, or the fact that it just appeared to be like an upside down. He was filming them in a camera upside down, and like they might have stuck there loosely, and the box would shake and they'd fall down. And he just flipped it. Then he said he can't do them anymore because of 9/11.
Right.
So the government came and stole all the secrets because part of the frequencies he could destroy metal as well.
Yeah.
And the government used that to
do 9/11.
Dustify the buildings.
Yeah. So he's selling this video of him doing all this levitation and stuff. And then it cut to like during this video, you can see it on YouTube now.
Right.
It's just another guy sitting at a desk. He's like, yes, well, he's creating what I like to call hyperforce. And then I watched another video of them doing something where they were creating free energy from copper. Oh no, creating a speaker, from copper,
right,
and something else, which I think is what copper and magnets.
That's
what a speaker is.
Yeah.
But like they were, I don't know, it was cooked. But they started off this video with a little drag skit where someone comes into his office and he's dressed in drag and he's doing something, and it wasn't
footy show.
Wasn't really clear why. And then it cuts to like them showing how to make one of these. John Hutchison. I think we need to come back to this guy at a later time because he's very interesting. But yeah, he fixed the BP oil spill.
Do you guys want to hear the love frequency?
Of course I want to.
528?
Yeah. Anyone else super horny right now?
No, I'm filled with love.
Oh, okay.
I'm filled with agape.
So yeah, he's playing like that frequency, but just blasting off like high pitched things and fun little samples. And yeah, Salty, you'll be into it.
So I had a look at it. Actually, to be honest, I've forgotten the frequency that this was. I think it's like 7.36 hertz.
Right.
It's supposed to be the natural heartbeat of the Earth.
Yeah, I came across that one. Yeah.
And there is apparently a project across the United States. Well, there is a project across the United States of low-frequency emitting bases called GWEN, the GWEN project.
Okay.
Which was designed to be a post-nuclear communication solution for the US government.
Right.
So they set up these weird little bases all over the country, which... It's one of those things where you're like, all right, fair enough that everyone got paranoid about this.
Yeah, yeah.
They're supposed to be used to be able to communicate between them using low frequency.
Who set them up though?
The government.
Oh, right.
Really did. And they instantly started causing problems because they interfered with heaps of shit.
When did they do this?
In the 90s maybe.
Okay.
I didn't actually look that up.
Okay.
But they did it, and then they've shut them all down.
Yeah, okay.
Because they just interfered with too much stuff.
And so their reasoning was they could use these to communicate somehow.
The idea was that after the EMPs go off, or after after the nukes and the corresponding electromagnetic pulses, all of the other communication methods would go down, and they would have this backup.
Right. What are the ham radio guys?
Yeah.
Well, just in case the ham radio guys, get blown up.
Yeah, right.
But there's a lot of conspiracies about what the bases are really for, and the main thing is because they're sort of, I think they're operating on like an 8 hertz.
Right.
That's sort of what they were pumping out. Was supposed to be disrupting the natural heartbeat of the Earth. But also, when you're getting into those sort of lower frequencies, it's like, well, is this just a nationwide mind control system?
I guess for anyone who doesn't know what a hertz is as well, it's like one cycle.
I'll put my hand up.
It's like, so 1 hertz is 1 oscillation cycle per second.
Okay.
So this is where a lot of the cookedness comes in as well, because people are like, well, we decided what a second was.
Right.
So how can we possibly have determined what true sound is by judging it in cycles per second when we decided what a second was? When noise happens naturally in the earth and all around us, and we've decided that this is where things are tuned to. So 440 hertz, this is middle A on a keyboard, is like what everything's tuned to in the Western world, which is 440 cycles per second, which sounds like this.
Oh yeah, it's a good one. I'm into that.
Get a tuning fork, bang it. That's the sound it'll make.
Was this a long thread on the Ozprog forums?
No, it might have been. No, I don't think so. They weren't that good there. They were good guys. But yeah, so we determined that a second was a second at some point in history. The Byzantine teens or whoever it was that decided that was what they were going to figure it out as.
So
440 hertz is what was early in the 19th century or 20th century.
I think in 1885.
Yeah,
they decided on it. I think
it got knocked back though, right?
It had been recommended as the standard in 1834, and then it took a little while for it to become the standard.
Yeah, so things were tuned to slightly above that, slightly below.
It wasn't
that.
until 1936 actually that the American Standards Association made it the standard pitch.
So there is a conspiracy theory about that and how 440 was used. So they reckon that 440 isn't exactly in tune with the planet and nature. Is it 432?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
432 is what they think should be. Everything should be tuned to that because that works out back to, the whole heartbeat of the planet kind of thing. 440, as the conspiracy goes, was used to militarize sound and music to get everyone angry, to mess with everyone's brainwaves, to change our DNA.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the conspiracy theories that was kind of debunked as I was reading it was that one Goebbels was the man behind convincing the world to go with 440.
Okay.
He apparently wrote to the British Standards Association or something, or whoever in Britain was like holding out on doing it. It was like, no, we should all come together and be 440.
Yeah.
Signed, not the Nazis.
Yeah. Yeah. And they were like, so, yeah, there are conspiracy theories that the Nazis are behind
440.
440.
What does 432 sound like?
Let me dial that
Dial
up.
that baby up.
It's going to sound almost exactly the same.
It sounds...
Nah, 440 is better.
That's 440.
Oh, what do you like, Cam?
It did slide up a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel uncomfortable.
So the Gwen Project, 1992 to 1994. Gwen Stefani and No Doubt.
Yep.
First album, 1992.
Well. Doesn't get any more concrete than that.
Yep. Remember that gang stalking?
I do. I can't forget it.
Guy driving
remember it when I
around
sleep.
listening to Gwen Stefani.
So 440. So every television commercial you hear, every song you hear, every movie you watch, it's all tuned to this.
In the Western world, though, right?
In the Western world, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why.
But also, I mean, that it dominates.
Yeah. Even like a lot of like you hear Middle Eastern music which sounds tuned differently is actually, I think a lot of the time, just a different mode of a scale of standard tuning.
Yeah.
But I think like a lot of like Eastern music, a lot of Asian music would now be tuned to Western standards. Just in terms of the actual tuning.
Yeah. But like traditional music, you wouldn't like a
gamelan.
Yeah, that's
Well, that's why they say the only music you can listen to if you don't want to be mind controlled is gamelan.
Really?
Yeah. No one says that.
Okay. Well, we do. We say it now.
Yeah, we say it.
Hashtag Hypothepod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good hashtag for us to use.
No, use Hypothepod when you say that to people.
Right. Anyway.
Interesting. All right, full disclosure, I understood maybe 50% of how things are tuned to things. It's still quite confusing to me.
Well, you know an instrument.
I understand an instrument.
All right, that's all I've got.
Yeah.
So when you tune, you hit a tuning fork that plays an A, you can tune everything else to that A.
So we kind of decided at some point that an A sounds like this, and everything is built around that.
Yes.
Okay.
And there is a sort of a mathematical and natural formula to what sounds correct.
Yeah.
You hear a bird sing, and it sounds in tune, and it sounds like a nice little tune.
Not these garbage birds outside.
Well, if you have garbage birds, that's unfortunate.
I'm kidding. The birds outside my house are lovely.
But you hear like a bird song, and it's like, and it's like, oh, that sounds like correct.
Yeah.
That's because nature and everything.
Yeah, right.
Is tuned.
But he's at bloody 432. Or she.
Yeah, your birds outside are playing bloody.
They're at 528. They're trying to rebuild my DNA.
Yeah. So
the 440 is supposed to rebuild your DNA as well, but in a bad way.
Right.
Let me read you this. So there was a right-wing conspiracy theorist, Mark Taylor.
Yep.
Cricket player?
Not the cricket player.
Okay.
This is not the PK podcast.
Yeah. This is somewhat disappointing, but carry on.
Also known as the firefighter prophet.
Yep.
So he was on a radio program where he warned that the Freemasons and the Illuminati are using a satanic frequency to change our DNA in order to make us oppose President Trump.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, I believe what happened on November 8 is the enemy has literally sent out a frequency, he said, and it agitated and took control, basically, of those who have their DNA turned over to the enemy. That's what's happening. The Illuminati, the Freemasons, all these people, their main goal is to change the DNA of man, and they're doing it through these frequencies. He claimed that he's getting bombarded with emails from Christians who are being isolated by their friends and family because of their support for Trump, and it's because their DNA is being controlled by the enemy. He says that the media is broadcasting its audio at 440 hertz, which has been found to damage your body organs and also changes your DNA, which is the goal of the Freemasons and the Illuminati. They want you to be part of the Illuminati bloodline.
No, they don't.
So
everything we know about the Illuminati is they don't want us to be. That's why they transgender everyone.
So this guy wrote a book called The Trump Prophecies,
right?
Which I found helpfully
I've heard of that.
Annotated on an Angel Fire website.
Yep.
In the year 2018, which is always good.
Does that person have their same account from way back then?
I hope so.
And it's the only account still running?
How is Angel Fire still going?
I don't know.
That's weird. Okay.
The people are like, can we turn off the servers yet? Like, no, that one person still has that page up.
Can we get a Hypothepod page on Angel Fire?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
The thing is they used 440 to change the DNA, and that's why people think that Trump's not doing a good job, because the part of their brain that can recognize when someone's doing a good job has been so damaged by this frequency.
Right.
But I saw an interview with him where he was talking about how millennials are so lazy these days because this is the first generation that has grown up completely with 440 for their entire lives. It's like, no, absolutely not. 440's been the standard since the 30s. So I guess the thing is though, like, you know how people shit on millennials, who are basically the same as every generation before them, in terms of all the things that their elders complain about.
Yeah,
I guess in that sense, yes, all of those things could be explained by 440.
Yeah, okay.
And then everyone before 1930 was great.
Is he doing the whole thing where, like, these days, you can get good media coverage if you just shit on the millennials? If you've got a survey and you're like, oh, millennials killing bloody water or whatever, millennials don't want to drink Coke anymore, you're going to get media coverage.
I don't know. I feel like this guy's got his own thing going on.
Okay.
Because the Trump prophecies is like a bunch of prophecies he's come up with about the rise of Trump, which he's in favour of, and the end of days, which he's also in favour of. This Angel Fire website was very forgiving of some things that didn't pan out. Like one of his prophecies was about El Chapo.
Yep.
And how he would have a red shirt. And he explained that, what I mean by that is his shirt will be drenched in blood from the shootout, which didn't happen because they caught him. So they stopped that prophecy from happening. It's like, no, that's not how I want my prophecies to work.
Do we have any other frequency gear?
Oh, there was just one other frequency video I watched. Was this guy who he was talking about 440. He was also talking about 7 hertz. Right. He felt that 7 was being thrown into the mix, but he told the story about going out to buy the Battle Los Angeles soundtrack.
Oh, you linked to that video, but it was a different video. I think you must have linked to the wrong video.
No, I linked to the right video. It's just you had to watch a couple of minutes of just the frequencies being played first.
Okay.
You had to be patient.
I had to rearrange my DNA first.
Yeah, this is the thing about you millennials. But Battle Los Angeles is a film that came out a few years ago.
Yep.
It's based on the Battle of Los Angeles that we discussed in a previous episode.
Yeah.
I think it basically posits what if the Battle of Los Angeles had been an alien invasion.
And
I think
now.
also happened now. Yeah.
And had the guy from Dexter in it that's a cop.
Yeah. So he went out, he talked about how he went out to buy the soundtrack to Battle Los Angeles, which is a weird decision from the get-go, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
He says he put it on and he was really disappointed. And not just because it's like a paint-by-numbers, press-the-button Hollywood soundtrack, which surely, having seen the movie and then deciding to buy the soundtrack, you already knew.
Yeah, that is, like, that movie is literally that, right?
But then he was also disappointed that they'd used these satanic frequencies in it.
Right.
But it's like, why did you buy the soundtrack in the first place? When you had seen the movie and you didn't like the soundtrack? Anyway.
The soundtrack is pretty much orchestral. So there's no, like, 6 songs on it. There's no Rage Against the Machine songs off it.
No rap and metal mashups?
No, it should be perfect for that. They should have got everyone from Judgment Night back again and done that again.
Do you guys want to hear 33 hertz?
Yeah.
Of course I do.
If it'll play.
What am I, an animal?
If it'll even play.
Ready? Must be too low for my phone speakers to be able to generate.
Or is this one of those ones that only
can
young
you hear
people
it?
can
You're
hear?
younger than I am. There's a hissing.
I can hear a hiss. Yeah. That's it.
Just a hiss.
Yeah, just a little hiss.
The cat's not freaking out.
That's
so.
666.
There we go.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's too obvious though.
Yeah.
There is one other low frequency, of course, though. That's the infamous brown note.
Oh yeah.
It's the brown note of conspiracy.
Yeah.
Loves it.
I was like, this will get Salty interested.
No, that's a myth, isn't it? It is. Mythbusters tried to do it.
Yeah. They worked really hard on making him poop himself.
Yeah. It's supposed to be like between 3 and 6 hertz.
Yeah.
Is it?
I think so, yeah.
Oh.
Too low to hear.
Yeah, right. But just really bassy.
Too low to hear, but you'd feel it.
Yeah. Especially when you're driving a truck.
Yeah.
Let's talk about sleep, gentlemen.
Sleep, gentlemen?
Well, that's one of the things we're going to be talking about.
All right.
We're talking about sleep paralysis and things that happen when you're having a snooze. Should we talk about what sleep paralysis actually is first?
Have any of you guys had it?
No. I mean, I've woken up.
Yep, good on ya.
Being like, I know stuff's happening around me, but either I made the choice not to get up, or I don't think I could get up because I was just like, ugh, I'm not getting up.
You knew stuff was happening around you, or you thought stuff was happening around you?
So I remember once when I was staying at a friend's house and his parents came home quite drunk in the middle of the night. They're knocking on the door and the window's like, hey, wake up, we can't get in. And I woke up and I was like, I don't know if it was like, it's going to be bothered.
It's like, yeah, fuck you guys.
And like in the morning, I'm like, oh, I should have got up. That was really like dick move. Yeah. But I don't know if I could get up or not.
Right.
Don't know if I've mentioned it on this podcast before. I had an experience when I was a child of waking up. I was dreaming, and in my dream I wanted to like move my arms, and I think I was outside of the covers. I wanted to move them inside the covers. I remember waking up and there being this little demon holding onto my arm. Right. I couldn't move my arm at all.
I think you have said that before. Yeah.
I'm sure I've shared it with you in confidence.
Probably.
But I've never heard it before.
Now I'm coming out and telling the world. But I screamed and like put my head under the covers, and my parents rushed in. I was like, there was a little bloody demon there grabbing onto my arm.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, it's not there now. I was like, well, that's not the thing to tell a child.
Must have gone. Why is your window open?
It's not there now. It definitely was before though. Stay under the covers.
And I didn't sleep with my arms outside of the covers for another 20-something years.
As in up until now, or?
Up until relatively recently.
Okay. What made you change that policy?
Probably just was like...
Realised I was a fucking child and that was my imagination.
It's probably just like, I invite death at this point of my career.
You win, demon. Let's go.
You just thought it'd be good content. Get your demon. Jeez.
I think I just was like, it's a weird superstition to have, and my arms are hot, so let's see what happens.
Yeah, you were just like, oh, how good's that cool arm action?
Been missing out all these years. Interesting.
So sleep. I don't think I have experienced it.
So it's basically when you wake up.
You wake up, you can't move.
Yeah,
your arms or legs, or say or speak.
It's the theory that your body's kind of shut down because your brain thinks you're sleeping.
Yeah,
but then part of you wakes up and your brain's not ready to wake everything up yet.
Yeah.
So it's when you're in the sleep. The stage of sleep that you're at gets mixed up. So there's a stage of sleep that you can be in where you can no longer control your breathing. It's just automatic because I guess your body's like, oh, well, we can't rely on this bloke to breathe in and out anymore.
Yeah.
Better just take that over.
Yeah.
And that's a thing that your brain does to protect you, right?
Yeah.
Because if it didn't, when you're thinking of making moves in your sleep, your arms and legs would be flailing around and you'd be like doing crazy stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah, you get locked down. Your breathing becomes an automatic process rather than anything that you have any control over. Otherwise, yeah, you'd be like dreaming that you couldn't breathe and you'd die.
Yeah.
So what happens is that stage of sleep gets mixed up with the waking stage of sleep. So you come into that waking stage, but you've still got all of the effects. So you sort of wake up, but you can't move, and you try and breathe, but you can't breathe. Even though you are breathing, but you try to breathe, and you can't do it, and you freak out.
Yeah.
And one of the things that happens, sort of as we discussed in the gang stalking episode, the fight or flight kicks in when you can't breathe, and you have to look around from where you are in a fairly locked down position in the dark with a lot of shadows, and you've got to come up with a logical conclusion why you cannot breathe. And what tends to happen for a lot of people is that they think that something's sitting on their chest.
An old hag.
Yeah, or some sort of demon or a shadow person.
Yes. Salty, you said a friend of yours had first-hand experience with this?
Yeah, so I have a friend who gets it, I think, semi-regularly. And she had told me about it a while ago. She said it's terrifying because, yeah, you can't move. You can't... She would see... It was funny because I asked her about it today, remembering that she'd said it before, knowing we were going to be talking about it. And I kind of asked a couple of prompting questions, and the answers she gave me were textbook to what we'd been looking up.
Right.
And I was like, oh, shit. So she said she sometimes sees figures in the room that are sometimes they have no face. You can't make any features on them. Sometimes she can make out the shape of clothes.
Okay.
And sometimes they have hoods on. So I thought that was kind of freaky because that's what all the accounts of it that I read about today or heard about seem to be very much about shadowy figures coming into the room, being in the room. I don't think they ever touch people, or they don't ever seem to get to a point where they actually do anything to them. They're just there and they're like an imposing...
Or sitting on their chest is the...
Frightening. Well, yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's...
That or they're like just around the room.
Yeah, yeah.
Sort of where shadows are.
Never grabbing their arm. Sitting on their chest, not grabbing their arms.
Yeah. That must have been something else.
Rest assured, Cam.
That was probably something. That was probably just an actual demon that grabbed your arm. But yeah, and I really liked hearing about the Hat Man.
So I guess this is the conspiracy theory side, though, is that no, it's not just a physiological thing. It's demons, or
demons.
aliens,
ghosts,
shadowy hat men.
Yeah.
So the first guy I looked at, he gave all the logical explanations and then said, it's the thing that happens. My case, though, definitely
100% supernatural.
He said it was probably alien abduction or a shadow being. And he said the first time it happened, or maybe the only time it's happened, he had a dream about laying his head in his uncle's lap, and then it was all very nice, and then something happened and he woke up. I was like, well, this just sounds like repressed memory. Not that I want to cast aspersion on his uncle.
Yeah.
But then he came to and he couldn't move. He could see a creepy face looming around him. So in order to get around it, or to defeat this creepy face, he imagined a green orb encompassing his body. And this is a way to basically stave off alien abductions.
Right.
If you're imagining yourself in a green orb. And he was all okay. Woke up the next morning. Everything was fine. Chatting to his sister said had the same experience.
Right.
That day, the dog threw up. Ooh. The dog never normally throws up.
Yeah.
Was it green?
Dogs that famously throw up all the time.
Didn't say what colour it was.
Then munch their vomit.
Yeah. Then he said something also happened that day that he can't talk about. Video end. The next video goes on autoplay, which is the same guy again. How to Talk to Aliens was the name of that one.
Right.
So, interesting character.
Interesting that he imagined a green orb to save himself.
Well, that's at odds with everyone else, right?
Yeah.
Well, I did see a lot of people saying the only way to beat sleep paralysis is to shout the name of God,
Yes.
or to shout the name of Christ.
If you can't shout it, think it.
Yeah, even if you're not a Christian.
Yep.
They bloody hate it. I also saw smudging with sage is a good step to stave off sleep paralysis. Also, a ring of salt around your house.
Mhm.
And also one list of ways to beat it suggested not doing drugs. If you stop doing methamphetamine, you won't have these issues.
But I won't get super awesome meth times.
Smudging, salt.
Lay off the drugs.
Yeah, lay off the meth.
So can I just throw in a little cooking tip here?
Yeah.
If you dry some sage out in the oven a little bit, enough just so it's a little bit crackly,
Yeah.
and then chuck it in a pestle of mortar with some salt, crush that up, you get a delicious salt seasoning you can put on like steak and pasta and all anything.
But also, it's a bloody super-powered salt for a little magical ring.
Yeah, so you can kill two birds with one stone, so to speak.
I liked that one guy who was like, these shadow guys, they don't give a shit.
yeah. This was Woodward TV.
Right.
Yeah. That's Woodward from Woodward and Bernstein, right?
No, maybe related though.
This guy with a hat. Yeah, that's right. Gangster shadow.
Yeah, he gives no fucks.
He gives zero fucks.
That's right. He says he comes in with what looks like a fedora on his head.
Yeah.
That's right. And I was like, oh, he's going to say he's a neckbeard. And he says, that's right, gangster ghost. And then he says, sometimes it's a derby.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a top hat. Shadow beings have many hats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to suggest that perhaps if it was a shadowy, weird figure, you wouldn't be able to tell that if it was a trilby or a derby.
You're not getting
or a
technical.
fedora.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the Hat Man we're talking about. This is the most fearsome shadow figure you could come across.
He's apparently the leader of them.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Jeebus.
He's the bloody Grand Poobah Shadow Man.
And yet, he's cultivated this sort of atmosphere within the Shadow people where no one feels comfortable coming to him and explaining to him about the sort of brand shift that fedoras have undergone.
What are you saying if Fedora Shadow Men knew about it?
I feel like he's got these Shadowmen who are like, yeah, it's a great hat. Good boss. That's really good. It's really terrifying.
Certainly hasn't got a pop culture representation now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's very gangster.
Yeah.
This guy also, he started it and he said, one of the problems with man is that we have a bad habit of trying to control everything around us. So when it comes to these shadow beings that we don't know, it's only a matter of time before some madman goes out and tries to catch one of these entities. And he calls them interdimensional punks that like to pick on children.
Yeah.
And that's when he says calling God's name is the only known way to get rid of them. Interdimensional punks. And their trilbies and their fedoras.
Yeah.
So I did, just on the scientific side of it, I did read there's been some work into fighting sleep paralysis.
Okay.
Right.
On the medication side, I saw there was experiments with GHB, which is a bit of a worry.
Yep.
I think there's been more success with training people to work through the incident as it happens.
Mm-hmm.
So part of the thing is you try and breathe and you freak out. But if you're aware of what's going on, you can just go with it because you're not actually going to stop breathing.
You can coax the shadow being in.
Well, this is the thing. I'm reading, the best way to deal with it is to just go with it. Yeah. It's like, that's what the bloody Satanists would say, isn't it? Yeah. Just let the demon take over.
Weirdly, the scientist telling me that was, I couldn't really see his face. He had a fun little hat on.
I'm assuming Freddy Krueger rules apply, right?
Yeah,
Whereas if you grab
so.
his hat and wake up, you'll have his hat.
Yeah, definitely.
Free hat.
Hat.
Yeah.
But that sort of gels with the thing about he visualized he was covered in a bright green orb. Like that is one way that you could think your way out of a sleep paralysis episode.
Well, yeah, that's
bathed in a relaxing white light or in a green orb or whatever.
Almost mindfulness. You're being aware of where you are.
Yeah.
I did also read that sleep paralysis is very much based on the culture that you're within. So in Egypt, for example, sleep paralysis is associated with a lot of superstition around jinns or genies.
Yeah.
A DJIN?
Yeah. You can chuck a D on the front if you like, or you can just go for the J.
Okay.
But
my preference is with a D.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Jin.
There's a lot of superstition around it where, all right, this is a thing where a jinn is on your chest, blah, blah, blah. In Denmark, by comparison, where none of that superstition exists, there's a lot less cases of sleep paralysis.
Plus in Egypt, they keep busting open all these ancient sarcophagi, just letting curses out everywhere. There's probably a jinn in every one of them.
He said this is maybe why we need to drink the red...
The red liquid.
Yeah, this will free us from the jinn.
Drink the red liquid, break the jinn's curse.
So the guy that was talking about the guys on the hats...
Yeah.
And saying that eventually someone's going to try and catch one of these things. And he used people catching jinns and amulets and shit, like back in history, as like scientific examples of people catching beings. It's like, so eventually someone's going to try and catch one of these ones and it's going to be bad.
Someone will make an app for your phone. It will just let you catch it like Pokemon Go. You wake up and point your camera at the Shadowman and he's there and you tap. No, didn't get him. Yes!
So are we thinking we make a Hypothebot app that has some sort of way, like a quick alarm to wake someone up quickly?
Yeah.
It wouldn't wake you up. You got to turn on your Pokemon Go style app and you'll see a shadow.
Yeah.
And you catch them.
Yeah. Can you get to work on that? Can you get to work on coding that thing?
That's how you work through it.
Yeah.
So that eventually when it happens, you go, no, I've already got that one.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bother. The Hat Man is like... Not just that guy though, right? Heaps of people talked about that.
Yeah, he's a common one.
Yeah.
So there's Hatman, there's Old Hag, there's Generic Demon. I think lots of cultures have their own ones.
And there was that one chick who was talking about how the shadow figures aren't all bad.
Yeah. Well, she's like, people think they're all bad because they're black.
Yeah.
She's like, that's a very ignorant viewpoint. But then the example she gives...
Jeez. She just dropped a hard B out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But then the example she gives is it's like a... like a black dog. People like,
okay, like
black
depression.
But, black dogs are nice.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So black dog's like a term for depression, though.
Yeah.
But she's saying like black dogs are friendly dogs.
Well, you find a black lab that's not lovely.
Oh yeah, not disputing that.
Yeah, but there's this cultural thing that black's bad. But that's the one example she gives. She doesn't use the.
But then she's
skirting around it though.
Yeah. She also comes back around and goes, except the Hat Man, he's the worst.
Right.
You don't want to encounter him. He is fucking the devil. Not fucking the devil. He is the devil.
I saw one example of a guy who said he spoke to the Hat Man.
Right.
Asked him his name.
Yep.
He said his name was Scratch.
Scratch.
Which is another name for Satan.
Oh. Right. I thought it was...
That's his like his fucking hip name. I'm Scratch. Pulls out a flick knife.
It's like, I'm hip, look at my hat.
No one had actually looked down and seen that he has big platform shoes with like goldfish in them.
In China, Chinese mythology, Eastern Chinese folklore, it's thought that a mouse can steal human breath at night and gain powers.
Yeah.
And what it does is it gains enough powers while it's sucking out your breath that it's strong enough to pin you down.
Right.
So you wake up and you've got this bloody super strong mouse that's just all juiced up on your bloody breath.
Yeah.
Carbon dioxide.
What I found interesting, maybe this is going to be like a really belabored point, but we'll see. I thought...
Yes, social media is making us less social, Cam.
I thought it was interesting that all of these different cultures have their own thing. So the Egyptians have the jinn, the Chinese have the super mouse.
Yeah. Which is the best one, but carry on.
In the States, they'll have like you might have aliens where there's a lot of, that sort of stuff in the popular culture, or where there's like a heavy Christian influence, it takes on a demonic form. The man in the hat is sort of, the ultimate evil in American society, the businessman.
Oh, okay.
Anyway. But also, I think it might have something to do with the fact that shadows look weird sometimes.
The guy that was doing the Man in the Hat video that we were talking about, he had a pretty cool effect. Did you see that? Where it had like an outline of a man in a hat.
Oh, that kind of just
and it was moving around, but you could see his hat.
Yeah.
His production values were good.
Were they?
You said they went downhill though.
Yeah. when I said that they went downhill, I meant as soon as that bit started, that's where I felt they'd gone downhill.
Oh, I enjoyed that
quite
bit.
enjoyed that,
Yeah, what the hell?
Because as he was talking about what was happening, it was very kind of spooky sounding, and this figure was just kind of morphing. And shifting.
I guess we have different standards.
He called them interdimensional punks. He was wearing a fedora. I wonder if you turn the light on, the fedora might have a little checker band on it.
Yeah.
Turns out he's super into ska. He's just trying to get everyone. He's trying to get everyone back into ska again. We should explain why everyone thinks it's evil. Because
ska.
Get that out of here.
One thing I noticed, I looked up about the Hat Man is I did a little Google Trend search. Hat Man really took off around the time that someone wrote a book called The Hat Man about shadow people. It's one of these people that's written a few things about shadow people. They'd first brought them up on Coast to Coast, the radio show that deals with a lot of conspiracy and paranormal stuff.
Art Bell?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a good compilation of all the people ringing into Art Bell talking about these on the YouTube. So check that out if you've got time.
But yeah, I mean, the thing about Google Trends is maybe she put a name to a phenomenon that a lot of people had experienced. But, I mean, the Hat Man is sort of what you'd call a spooky Hat Man, right?
Yeah.
Even without someone putting the name in your head. So I feel like there shouldn't have been a huge spike if this was something that lots of people were already experiencing.
Didn't the Mad Gasser have a hat on in all the depictions?
I'm not sure. Don't remember.
He had a cowl. No, he had a bit of a fedora in a lot of the...
Robbo trying to legitimize his whole Mad Gasser thing again.
Let's look back at the Mad Gasser. That's very much like a bloody shadowy Hatman.
Yeah, I will give you that.
It's not a photo, though. It's just a drawing.
And also, that was the time when people wore hats.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's one of those things where once you get told about it, then it puts the idea in your head. Like you wouldn't...
Like a meme.
Yeah, it is. It's a literal meme.
Yeah.
But like people don't have... Your brain can put together the idea that there's something on your chest, but if you're told that it's a crazy hat man, then you're going to see a hat man there.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Now I'm worried that I watch too many Hat Man videos. The little demons are going to come back all grown up.
You should replace them with another trendy guy wearing a hat, the Scat Man.
If that demon comes back and he's wearing a hat, I'm going to tell him. I'm going to be straight with him about the hat.
You mean, yes.
The Scat Man. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anything else on bloody sleep?
Well, I feel like somebody wanted to bring up exploding head syndrome.
Oh, yeah. I feel like now that I've said that I wanted to bring it up, I feel like I should have looked into it more. Because I think it would tie into the whole... I guess it should have been talked about. The frequency thing was like... Stuff about exploding head being like an event that happens, like returning to your body from something.
Okay.
Or like, yeah, being returned from an alien abduction... And that's like you're coming back. But there was also the thing of, when you're just sitting there and like your ear goes, it starts doing a high-pitched noise that no one else can hear. And like your other ear might block and you hear this noise. Was tied to like ascension events where people are trying to their bodies are trying to, or their minds are trying to transcend to another plane. But it doesn't happen for whatever reason.
So you just get a bit of a blocked ear.
You're like, here it comes. Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck. No, nothing
Still in the office.
I thought those two things might have tied together, but I couldn't really find much.
Because I've experienced exploding head syndrome before.
What is it? Is it just when your head goes, your ears block and you get a little ring?
No, it's when you're sleeping. It's sort of when you're drifting off to sleep and then you'll hear like a really loud noise.
Oh, yeah.
It might be like a bang or like a gunshot.
I think I've had that before as well.
Or like someone yelling something.
Yeah.
You just hear, ah! You wake up and it's like, oh, I wish that hadn't happened.
Yep.
It's really annoying.
And that's exploding head syndrome.
Yeah, that's called exploding head syndrome.
Exploding head syndrome, the name does not reflect how mundane the problem is.
Yeah.
If people's heads start exploding,
Just such a great little sleep, Robbo.
and like it becomes a problem through whatever weird phenomenon in the future. Like, exploding head syndrome.
It's taken.
It's taken. And like, what are we going to call it now?
You know what's funny about that exploding head syndrome? I saw a list on Reddit or something of like, what's your favorite conspiracy theories? And one of them was about JFK, and it was like the no bullet theory.
Oh yeah,
that his head just did that.
See, exploding head syndrome.
Yeah,
That's
that could
what
have
it
been the
should
start of
be.
exploding head syndrome.
And then
his head just blew up.
Well, I feel like in the 90s on kind of paranormal shows, spontaneous combustion was a thing. I feel like I haven't heard much about that in the last
Is there a topic
couple of
in that?
decades.
Yeah, let's talk about
Yeah,
that one
right.
day. One thing that does come up a bit in the sleep paralysis stuff is people talk about hearing a buzzing or like some sort of frequency. A movie that I would recommend checking out if you're interested is called The Nightmare, which is a documentary on Netflix. It came out at the Melbourne International Film Festival a few years ago.
Myth.
It was we have a lot of foreign listeners, Robbo.
Yeah, I'm just now, we can refer to it as Myth. It's a little bracketed thing.
Oh, yeah, from now on.
Yep.
Yeah, Myth sort of marketed
handy.
it as like it was in the horror movie section of the festival, but they marketed it as like this is the scariest one because all the scares are real. But it's a doco about a bunch of sufferers of sleep paralysis, and then they reenact what they experienced. And it's sort of, I watched a little bit of it today, and it's a bit creepy.
Right.
I don't know if I'm going to go back, because when I typed in The Nightmare into Netflix, it was like, do you want to watch The Nightmare or do you want to watch Moana again? And I was like, I think I want to watch Moana.
What? I wonder why Nightmare comes up in the algorithm for
Moana.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't know.
That's
Like,
interesting.
Explore titles related to it. It's like, oh, maybe because it's all pitched at 4:40.
That explains it. I saw a Slenderman documentary, speaking of somewhat related supernatural documentaries. We haven't talked about Slenderman on the old podcast, have we?
No.
Another topic. It wasn't a very good documentary.
No.
Anything else on sleep?
Nah.
No. Might go do some.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, before we start wrapping up, a little bit of extra biz.
Yes.
Yeah. A little podcast news. We have set up a Patreon.
Yes.
It is Sick AF.
What is a Patreon for those that may not be aware?
It's a way that you can be a patron of the podcast by giving us a little bit of money. We have a few tiers.
Yes. We have one. We tried to make all these tiers as cooked as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So the first tier is $3.33.
Yep. 333.
$3.33. Signing up to that will get you bonus content.
Yep.
You will
also get a cool little Hypothepod badge.
Hypothepod button.
Which we're all wearing.
Yep. $3.33 a month.
Yep.
Yeah.
Each month you sign up, that'll be deducted out of your little thing.
Yep.
And you'll get extra content. Are we doing weekly content for them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dope.
Every week, a bit of extra content on top of the podcast.
Yep. And that'll be what we've done in the past is our wrap.
Yeah. So if there's stuff from previous episodes we want to revisit, we've got new information about something small that's happened that we
might cover in a future show, but we just want to address it. Yep.
You'll get access to that.
Next up.
The next tier is the $6.66.
Yep. What do you get for that?
Really cool Satan tier.
Yep.
For that tier, you get the same stuff as the first one.
Yeah.
But we'll also send you out a little cooked units enamel pin.
Yep.
That you can wear around to show your love and flair.
So you get a badge and a pin.
A button.
Yeah.
A button like a 1-inch button.
Yeah.
And an enamel pin.
Yeah.
$6.66 a month.
Nice. Also, you get to say you're giving $6.66 a month to a podcast.
Yeah.
Just super cool.
It's US dollars too, so it's
It'll come out of your bank account slightly differently.
But
hey, it's the optics that count here.
I think they do Australian dollars now.
Oh, okay. I'll set it to Australian dollars.
Okay.
Cam, you just lost us like $2 a day.
So yeah, you get all the same stuff. You just get a cool little enamel pin. Maybe you want to support us a little bit more than $3.33.
I think the cool enamel pin is worth $3 a month.
Yeah.
Extra.
And if you want to give us more, It's up to you.
Well, we've got the final tier.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you don't want to give us the final tier amount, but you want to give us a little bit more than $6.66, you can if you want.
Yeah,
but you don't
we
have
won't
to.
be mad.
And the final tier is for anyone out there who is as cooked as us.
Yep, bloody loves us.
Loves the podcast, really wants to support us. There's the $33 tier.
What do we get for the $33?
$33 tier. If you want to give us $33, you'll get all the bonus content of the other things.
Yep.
You'll get enamel pin.
Yep.
You'll get a button Maybe
Yep.
we'll even chuck in 2 buttons.
Yeah, one for you, one for your partner.
Yep. But what we'll also do is every 6 months we'll send you out a mystery box of items
Yep.
that are conspiracy theory related.
Yeah.
Maybe
Exotic wares.
Exotic wares. We'll go to Ishka.
No, we've been collecting some cooked stuff from op shops.
Yeah.
The cooked stuff that I got, it's so good.
Yeah.
When I found it I'm not going to say where I'm getting my cooked stuff from. I was just like, whoever signs up for the $33 tier, are just going to be lucky as. The first signee.
The first mystery box is going to be great.
Yeah. They're going to go downhill after that. No, they're going to get better, I think.
So if you want to give us $33 a month, all the money's going to go back into the podcast. We're going to put it towards getting.
Wow, not all of it.
Well, you know,
they got to eat.
Yeah. But we'll be putting the money back in. We'll be buying more equipment if we need it. It'll help us pay for hosting. It'll help us do everything that we do.
Yeah.
Get merch made.
Look, $3.33 a month.
Yeah.
If you want to sign up for that, it'd be great.
We will love you regardless.
Yeah. We love all of you regardless.
Also, any of the cooked people who want to give us $33 a month will also be considering you basically a producer or a sponsor of the show. We'll give you a shout out every week.
You can suggest some topics for us.
Topics, yeah.
Yeah, I fully don't expect anyone to take that up. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
We get to keep more mystery box stuff for ourselves.
The items that I have, I really don't want to give them up.
So yeah, jump on patreon.com/hypothepod.
Yep.
Check it out.
And if you do sign up, you can get what we're about to talk about.
Yeah.
You know what we could do with these mystery boxes if we don't want to give up the stuff we've got?
Yeah.
How about we just... I've been watching on YouTube. I know, Salter, you fell into a mystery box hole.
Oh, did I ever?
I fell into the niche hole of deep web mystery boxes, people buying stuff off the dark web.
Oh, yeah.
We could just sit... Because we'll have your address, we can just sign you up for a dark web mystery box. And you'll get like a bunch of cocaine and like a bloody knife or something.
Wait, just anyone?
Yeah, anyone who signs up for the $33.
Oh, okay.
We'll just go to jump on the dark web, get you a dark web mystery box.
I want the cocaine. I don't want the bloody knife. That's something I don't want to be involved in.
That's why it's not going to you. It's going to the
Going to the listeners.
Yeah.
What if I sign up for 33?
All right. Now, here's the promise. If you sign up for the $33 tier, we will not send you a dark web mystery box.
Everyone else gets a dark web mystery box.
We will send you a little box of stuff every 6 months.
Yeah. A big box.
A big box with a few things in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big box, small content.
Yep.
So, where can they find you on the web, Robbo?
You can get me at aleofatime.com, and my book about beer, keg, bottle, can is available in all good bookshops. I know people have gone into a bookshop and bought one.
Whoa.
You can do that too.
Maybe I'll buy one at your launch.
Please do.
This will be out before your launch.
Hopefully. August 8th. Tallboy and Moose in Preston here in Melbourne.
Yep.
Come along, 7 p.m.
Any Melbourne people who listen and want to come along and meet
Robbo.
Yeah. You'll be there too, so
I'll
you'll meet
be
Salty.
there. I'll
Maybe
come
Cam will
along.
be there. We'll see how he goes.
There we go.
Me, you can find it at Saltmarsh on Twitter, Andrew Saltmarsh Illustration on Facebook, and check out Towhider on Patreon.
No, don't check it out. Check out...
Yeah.
Well, give to us first, and then if you want to give more, come over and check out the Towhider one.
And you can find me at Sextonheimer on Twitter. Gather around me on Facebook and iTunes for my other podcast.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Don't worry about a thing, except if all our world leaders are alien reptilians. I said don't worry about a thing, except maybe the fluoride in our water supply contains mind-altering drugs. Don't worry about a thing, except whether or not Port Arthur was a false flag operation in which to disarm Australia. I said don't worry about a thing. I accept you can definitely hear John Lennon say I buried Paul at the end of Strawberry Fields forever. Ooh, don't worry about a thing, except not only did Bush do 9/11, but he also keeps the planes out in Area 51, which, let's not forget, where all of the aliens are. Don't accept. Donald Trump is clearly a woman, and